Hi guys, welcome to Crazy Burger. So back in 2021 we got the Bitmap Bros Collection for Evercade. There was only 5 games on the collection and some of them include the Chaos Engine and Speedball 2. They were probably the 2 best games on the collection. Although at this time we didn't have Commodore 64 and Amiga on Evercade. So we got the SNES version of the Chaos Engine, which was actually really decent, but we got the sort of Mega Drive version of Speedball 2, which probably wasn't the best version, but that was probably the best we could have got at that time. But now that we've got Amiga and C64 on Evercade platforms, could we see a Bitmap Bros Collection too? Now there's a few other games that they have, such as Magic Pockets, Gods. They're probably 2 of the other well-known games that we could see on a second collection. Now what I'm going to do is look through some of those games now, and we'll maybe discuss, is it possible that we could see a second collection from Bitmap Bros on Evercade? Let's have a look. Now there's no doubt about it that Gods is one of their most well-known games. It's a sort of platforming style game, which is actually really good fun to play. A little bit hard right enough, and certainly looking at the graphics, it absolutely screams Amiga to me. I remember playing this back in the day. Didn't have Amiga, but got to play it on some of my friends' Amiga platform, where I also got to play Magic Pockets as well, which was fantastic. Always stuck in my memory back in the day. Great stuff, very, very different to anything else at the time that I can remember anyway, on the C64 that I had. So it was great to play these games. This is really cool. Now this has actually appeared on a lot of modern platforms. They have actually remastered this, so I don't know what's happening with the licensing. It could be possible we could see this game on Evercade. Obviously, we didn't get this back in the Bitmap Bros Collection 1. I'm not sure if there was a Mega Drive version or we couldn't license it or whatever the reasons were. But it would be fantastic. I think as part of a collection too, if we got it, this would probably be one of the main games. No doubt about it. It's an absolute classic. So no doubt about it, for me, Magic Pockets would be my top pick for a second collection if we got it. Now there's not a lot of games to choose from Bitmap Bros, but these are the 2 obvious games we didn't get in Collection 1, Gods and Magic Pockets. Magic Pockets was an absolutely cool style, and it totally screams Amiga, although it was on Atari ST as well. I think it might have even been on Atari ST originally. But obviously that sticking point could be this intro, which has licensed music from Betty Boo. So maybe they would just completely skip the intro altogether, or mute the music if they couldn't license that. I'm not sure if there's more music appears throughout the game, because I've never really got that far in the game, but I can remember playing through this first level time and time again when I got a chance to play it back in the sort of mid-90s when it was released. A really cool, very different to anything else I remember, and even since, there's nothing really like it out there. Pretty cool. No idea what's actually going on, to be honest, but it is a very cool game indeed, and I would love this on Evercade. Could this happen? There's certainly a possibility. Now that we've got Amiga as part of Evercade, it would just take Blaze and Bitmap Bros to get together, or Renegade Software, I guess, that may actually own the licensing for these games. So fingers crossed this happens, because these are 2 very cool games. So let's have a look at some other games that we could see if we got a second collection. So another title we could see as part of a second collection could be Kadvar, which is a isometric dungeon crawler of sorts. This also appeared on the A500 Mini very recently, but one of the issues I think with the game was controlling the game with a D-pad is a little bit tricky, so probably wouldn't be great for the Evercade. Although it's a cool game, no doubt about it, a very cool game, very different to a lot of the stuff we have on Evercade already. But I think if we got it, ideally it would be great to use a mouse and a keyboard. Obviously that's not going to happen. The other option would be maybe to use a joystick if we got this game, because on a D-pad it's just not the best at all, but a cool game nonetheless. So another possibility could be the Chaos Engine 2, that was really meant, I think, as a two-player style game. As you can see here, it's a split screen. This one is actually the player versus the computer, but it seems really unfairly balanced to me. But I think ideally you want to be playing this against another player. So this would be perfect for the VS. I don't really think it's a particularly great single-player experience, to be honest. Although we could end up seeing the Amiga version of the Chaos Engine. That would be quite cool. Or even the CD32 version, although I'm not sure if that's possible due to licensing, I guess, for CD32. But we could certainly see the Chaos Engine Part 2 as part of a second collection. So obviously we did get Speedball 2 on the first collection, but could we actually see some different versions on the second collection, like the Amiga version that we ideally would have loved instead? This is probably the best version we could probably receive. There's other conversions out there. There was a CD32 version, which was really just a bit more colourful. There was actually a Game Boy Advance version as well, which I think was based on the CD32 version, although I think the screen was zoomed in a lot further. But it was quite a cool conversion. So ideally, I think it would be fantastic to see another version. Could we even see the Commodore 64 version? That was my personal favourite and one that I played a lot back in the day. I absolutely loved it, and maybe arguably it was probably quicker than the Amiga version. Certainly not as good graphically, but I think it moved at a far quicker pace than the Amiga version did. It was so addictive. Anyway guys, let me know what you think. Could we see a second Bitmap Bros Collection? I think if we did, it would probably only be 5 or 6 games at best, just like the first collection. But anyway guys, thank you very much for watching. We'll catch you again in the next one. Bye for now.